Hey, I'd like to call to order the Mentor City Council regular meeting for May 6, 2025. The invocation tonight will be given by Councilman Kirchner.
Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day. Help us use good judgment for the business at hand and guide us in wisdom with a continuing sense of truth and fairness for the community we represent.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Everybody, tonight in Chambers we have a very special guest with us. We have Aries, our brand new to the force K-9 officer, accompanied by Officer Terry Wergler. Would Aries like to come up and say something to the crowd? Oh, sorry.
Beautiful.
He is beautiful.
Good boy.
Put the treat up there.
Come on, buddy. What's up?
Oh,
There
what
he
a
is.
great looking guy.
You don't want to do it.
All right.
Yeah, he's definitely our newest member of the department.
Yeah.
He's originally from Poland, and we got him from Shallow Creek Kennels over in Sharpsville, PA. They train a lot of law enforcement canines and military canines. They do a great job, and we've had really great luck with the canines that we've got from that organization. And this is Terry's third dog, and just ready to start working. This is his 7th day, I think, that he's been back from training. So,
Well, welcome, Aries. And how old is he?
17 months.
Oh, so he's still got a little puppy in him.
Oh, he's got a lot of puppies.
Has he done anything significant in the last 7 daid, or is he still in the
yet.
training mode?
He may have stopped somebody from running. We don't know. The guy saw him and just put his hands
Gave up? Yeah.
Had 4 vehicle sniffs so far.
Nice.
One he alerted to. We found some crack paraphernalia in there, but that's about it.
Well, welcome, Aries. All right, we're going to get started. Julie, if you would call the roll, please.
Mr. Kirchner?
Here.
Mr. Krieger?
here.
Mr. Marne?
Here.
Mr. Blake?
Here.
Mr. Donovan?
Here.
Mrs. Dowling? Here. Mr. Freeman?
Here. Okay. All righty. Council, you are in receipt of the April 15, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Okay. Public hearings, we have none. Tabled legislation, we have none. New legislation, ordinance number 25-0-033.
An ordinance transferring funds, advancing funds, and revising appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Mr. President, Mrs. Lingenfelder, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak, members of council. The ordinance that you have in front of you is pretty much standard, a standard ordinance from our department. This one has transferring of funds, advancing of funds, and revising appropriations. There are 2 transfers in there, the larger of which is $1 million that was budgeted to be moved from the fire levy fund to the fire station replacement fund to help pay for the land and engineering costs for that project. There are 4 advances from the general fund for upcoming projects. The largest is $1 million for the annual road program and $1.8 million to start the Lakeshore Boulevard resurfacing project. And then we have several different revisions to appropriations to several different funds, and most of the bigger ones are for grant funds that we are now starting.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Okay, ordinance number 25-0-033 has been approved. Next is ordinance number 25-0-034.
An ordinance accepting and awarding a construction engineering services agreement to Quality Control Inspection, Inc. for the LAKSR 283-07.93 PID 100614 Lakeshore Boulevard resurfacing project and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Swigger, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. In the event that federal funding would have been available to apply toward construction engineering consulting services for the Lakeshore Boulevard resurfacing project, the city followed a qualifications-based selection process for consultant selection. This involved advertising on the Ohio Department of Transportation's website for these services. In doing so, the city received 3 responses from consultants for the construction engineering services by the March 14th deadline. Based upon the consultant selection rating form provided by ODOT, we ranked the consultants in the following order: Quality Control Inspection, American Structure Point, and Terracon Consultants. The ranking took into account the firm's project manager, the strength and experience of the assigned staff, the firm's current workload, the consultant's past performance, and the project approach. A Quality Control Inspection was selected as the highest-ranked firm from the applicants. We subsequently received the scope of services and fee document from QCI. As part of the QBS process, the city was required to select a consultant based on qualifications and then subsequently agree upon or negotiate a contract price. The total estimated fee submitted by QCI for construction management services is $119,262.68, and this would be billed on an hourly basis and would not be exceeded without prior written authorization. Unfortunately, at this time, it's expected that all available federal funds will go toward construction of the project and will not be available for construction engineering services. Federal funding on the project is capped at $720,000. It is recommended that City Council authorize the city manager to enter into a construction engineering services agreement with QCI for an amount not to exceed $119,262.68. It's recommended that this legislation be approved to meet the current project schedule, and construction is expected to begin in June of this year. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second. Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Okay. Ordinance number 25-0-034 has been approved. Next is ordinance number 25-0-035.
An ordinance accepting and awarding a bid contract to Roniak Paving, Inc. for the LAKSR 283-07.93 PID 110614 Lakeshore Boulevard resurfacing project and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President, and obviously that QCI project accompanies this ordinance, which is the actual paving of Lakeshore Boulevard, which would run from Andrews Road all the way to the western Corp line. Mr. Swigger.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. Bids were opened on Friday, April 18th for the LAK SR 283 7.93 Lakeshore Boulevard resurfacing project. The project will resurface Lakeshore Boulevard from Andrews Road to the Willoughby Corp line, which is about 1.5 miles in length. The 5 bids range from a low bid of $1,811,658 to a high bid of $1,876,497.10. It's been determined that Roniak Paving, Inc. of Burton, Ohio, submitted the lowest total bid of $1,811,658. The engineer's estimate for the project was approximately $1.7 million. A review of the bid from Roniak Paving indicates it's in conformance with all contract requirements. It's therefore recommended that a contract be awarded to Roniak Paving, who are experienced and qualified to perform the work, in the amount of $1,811,658. The scheduled final completion date for the project is September 30th this year. The project is receiving approximately $720,000 in ODOT Urban Paving Program funding. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second. Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Okay, ordinance number 25-0-035 has been approved.
Mr. President? Just a
Yes.
quick question for you, Mr. I know I asked this on occasion, because we get questions about the road conditions and how much we're spending. And do you have an idea how much we'll be putting into our road programs this year?
Approximately $8 million.
$8 million, okay, thank you.
Okay. Next is ordinance number 25-0-036.
An ordinance accepting and awarding a bid contract to Phillips Paving LLC for the 2025 asphalt road repair program and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President. And of course, this is our annual asphalt component of our road program. I would just make one note before I turn it over to Mr. Swigger. One of the alternates includes the Menor on the Lake work. We don't have that ordinance yet, but we should expect that probably by your next meeting. Mr. Swigger?
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak. 3 bids were opened on Friday, April 11th for the 2025 asphalt road repair program. The project will provide asphalt repairs and resurfacing to portions of 20 city streets. The bid package consisted of a base bid and 3 alternates. The 3 streets included for resurfacing, all or portions thereof, are Bernard Road, Biltmore Road, Foothill Drive, Curtis Court, Beaver Creek Drive, Colony Court, Edward Street, Forest View Avenue, Sharon Lee Drive, Haverford Boulevard, Bryson Drive, Kane Drive, Campbell Road, Tall Oaks Drive, Homewood Drive, South Shandle Boulevard, Little Mountain Road, and Rosewood Lane. Quantities bid under alternate 1 will be utilized for work within Menor on the Lake, and that totals about $60,000. The quantities within alternates 2, 3, and 4 are for repairs to be performed on Garden Lane, Patterson Drive, and various bridge expansion joints on Heisley Road and Center Street. The 5 bids received for the project ranged from a low bid of $1,040,223 to a high bid of $1,190,022.30. It's been determined that Phillips Paving LLC of Chagrin Falls, Ohio, submitted the lowest total bid of $1,040,223. The engineer's opinion of probable construction cost for the project was $1,177,000. A review of the bid from Phillips Paving indicates it's in conformance with all contract requirements. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Ordinance number 25-0-036 has been approved. Next is ordinance number 25-0-037.
An ordinance accepting and awarding a bid contract to DWA Recreation, Inc. for the purchase and installation of an open-air pavilion at the Marina and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Kaminsky, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak, members of council. The Parks and Recreation Department received 3 bids on April 18th, 2025 for the new pavilion at the Menor Marina. We are recommending the purchase and installation of an open-air pavilion for the Menor Marina from DWA Recreation, as they were the lowest bidder. As a reminder, this project includes a grant from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and a total of $29,900. The new 20 by 40 steel gable shelter will follow the same design as the 2 that we installed over at Springbrook Park in 2023. DWA Recreation Inc.'s company meets all requirements and has an incredible experience working with municipalities. It is therefore recommended a contract of $94,450 be awarded to DWA Recreation Inc. for the purchase and installation of the new open-air pavilion. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Ordinance number 25-0-037 has been approved. Ordinance number 25-0-038.
An ordinance accepting and awarding a bid contract to Century Industries, Inc. for the purchase and delivery of a mobile stage and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, Mr. Kaminsky.
Thank you, Mr. Flipiak. The Parks and Recreation Department received 2 bids on April 18th, 2025 for the purchase of a mobile stage. After reviewing both bids, we recommend awarding the bid to Century Industries for the following reasons. Their proposed stage meets the required stage size of 24 by 15.5. In addition, Century Industries can provide the following features that were not included on the other bidder's proposal, and that is the electrical box distribution, uplighting to illuminate the stage, as well as the push button to raise and lower the roof. The stage size alone was an important factor on this. One of the main reasons why we would like to proceed with this is the fact that this is going to save us in between $17,000 and $20,000 a year on rentals that we use for tunes at the lagoons. If we recall, we used to rent the second stage over at City Fest, which we'd like to bring that back. We also have the theater camps that we run down at Wildwood, as well as all of our Wildwood events and the music that we play down there as well as some educational programs that we plan on running throughout the different parks. Century Industries bid met all requirements, and they have experience building these types of stages. It is therefore recommended that a contract of $135,711 be awarded to Century Industries for the purchase and delivery of the mobile stage. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 25-0-038 has been approved. Next is ordinance number 25-0-039.
An ordinance accepting and awarding a bid contract to Royal Heating and Air Conditioning Service Company for the Recreation Center Soccer Complex Heating and Air Conditioning System Replacement Project and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Vernon, please.
Thank you, Mr. Filipiak, members of council. One bid was received on April 25th to replace mechanical equipment for the soccer complex and the Mena Recreation Center. The bid was submitted by Royal Heating and Air Conditioning with a price of $269,707. The bid from Royal Heating and Air Conditioning fulfills all contractual obligations. Royal has completed many successful projects for the city of Menor, and therefore I recommend approval.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
I have a question. Ken, does that replace that big giant heater that was stood up?
Yes, sir.
That's going to be gone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more room. Yeah, I'm a yes, yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Okay, ordinance number 25-0-039 has been approved. Ordinance number 25-0-040.
An ordinance amending Part 1, Title 5, Section 15111 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Menor 2006 as amended to adjust the pay grade of the part-time building inspector position and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President and Council. As you know, we have certain positions that where we have both full and part-time employment. In some of our part-time positions, there is less of an expectation that they would fulfill all the responsibilities that a full-time employee would. In this particular case, when it comes to our inspectors, and we're really talking about building, plumbing, and electrical inspectors, they do exactly the same kind of work, and there's really no variation in that. So in order to be able to attract qualified part-time applicants, we really have to be paying in the same hourly range as we would for our full-time employees. So this will generally align with that, and we're finding that, as you're all aware, that the difficulty in attracting qualified candidates has become among the hardest, if not the hardest, positions to fill. So this will make that a little bit easier.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman, sorry.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 25-0-040 has been approved. Ordinance number 25-0-041.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to increase compensation for non-bargaining unit personnel pursuant to Section 151-16 of the Mentor Code of Ordinances and declaring it an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. Council, this would address our desire to be able to look at merit-based increases for our non-bargaining personnel. This would allow us to go up to 3% for our non-bargaining full and permanent part-time employees. This is exactly consistent with our collective bargaining wage increases for 2025.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 25-0-041 has been approved. Next is ordinance number 25-0-042.
An ordinance accepting and authorizing the city manager to award a bid contract to Huffman Equipment Rental, Inc. for the Menor Lagoon's Park Marina Bulkhead Replacement Project Phase 6 and declaring an emergency.
Ken?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Kaminsky.
Thank you, Mr. Flipiak. The Parks and Recreation Department received one bid on April 18th, 2025 for Phase 6 of the bulkhead repair. And as a reminder, this is the first year that we are going on to E-Dock because we completed the D-Dock last year. This project will replace approximately 520 feet of sheet pile bulkhead wall and concrete walk on E-Dock. And you saw in the picture, it's going to start right at the bridge and circle around that inlet all the way to E1. So we're going to have no dockers impacted this year with this construction. Next year, Phase 7, of course, we'll get into replacing the wall going up the end of the E-Dock where there are dockers. The low bid was received by Huffman Equipment Rental, Inc. of Eastlake, whose bid was found to be in substantial conformance and contract requirements. It is therefore recommended that contract be awarded to Huffman Equipment Rental, Inc. in the amount of $619,207.90. And we've used them 3 different times on these projects, and they're actually fantastic to work with. The scheduled completion date for this is September 1st, and we'll keep you informed of the progress as the summer goes on. Thank you for your support.
Mr. President? Yes. Question, Mr. Flipiak. Mr. Kaminsky, how many phases do we think that we're going to have in this current E-Dock?
On E-Dock, 3.5.
3.5 phases?
Yeah, it really depends on the pricing that comes in. Obviously, it's nowhere near the length of D-Dock. If we get good pricing, it'll be done within 3 years.
Okay, and I guess question for the other part of the administration. Where are we at with, after E-Dock, what's our direction then? Because we had a problem and concerns from the Army Corps of Engineers about
Yeah,
the rest
I
of-
think,
Go
again,
ahead.
I think that we're going to want to have some discussion with the council about whether or not to continue that same configuration and what kind of dock space we might lose by altering that, and again, just kind of going straight across as opposed to outlining the boxes, I'll call them.
Okay.
We have to have that discussion before we would actually make an official permit request, because those permits, obviously, if granted, have a short time period in which to make that project happen. So we would have to be pretty well assured of what we're going to be doing before we go forward with that. So the option is there. I think is that the nature of your question, Councilman Marne, whether or not we're going to address those inlets or not?
Correct.
Yeah, and the backup plan to that, depending on if the city's able to get those permits, would be to work right around the main entrance where the access is, the open access is right across from our offices. There was an ad alternate to this bid, and that was around the gas dock. So we do have some areas there that we do need to repair. So depending on where we go in 3 years, that would be the next set.
Okay.
And then possibly down, a little bit down A-Dock, but A-Dock's in pretty good shape at this point.
Gotcha. All right. That was my next question. You read my mind. Thank you.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes. Okay, ordinance number 25-0-042 has been approved. Second readings, we have none. Third readings, we have none. On to manager's report, Ken.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. Council, this week from May 4th to the 10th is National Corrections Officer Week. Corrections officers put their health, safety, and lives on the line every day to maintain public safety and to reform and rehabilitate our nation's offenders. So we want to thank our wonderful group of corrections officers here in Mentor for all that they do and throughout Lake County as well. Council, we did have a press release yesterday to announce our final national guests for our Men of Rock Summer Concert Series. And I'm happy to say that alternative rock hitmaker Five for Fighting and special guest Vertical Horizon have been added to this year's Men of Rock Summer Concert Series. And they will appear at the amphitheater on Tuesday, August 12th, again beginning at 7 p.m. And finally, Council, we have several new businesses to announce. Caliber Collision at 7515 Tyler Boulevard. The Sweatbox Group Fitness Studio at 8920 Mentor Avenue. Grace Church of Mentor Daycare Center at 6883 Reynolds Road. Balmoral Tanks at 7710 Tyler Boulevard. Go Glow at 8900 Mentor Avenue, and Arsenal Defender at 7255 Center Street. And again, we appreciate their investment in our community and wish them great success going forward.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Isn't Balmoral Tanks, isn't that a new business from Great Britain?
It is
Scotland.
yes, international company that does business in Great Britain and Scotland, and we've visited with them, and obviously we've worked with them as part of our international trade initiative, and thrilled that they've picked, out of all the places in the United States, they picked Mentor. I will say this, because Mr. Malachek and I visited with them just last week at their new facilities on Tyler, and it was very encouraging to learn how unbelievably satisfied they were with being able to find literally every service they need to conduct their business from other Mentor businesses, literally just up and down the street. So they couldn't be happier with the economy that we provided here in our manufacturing cluster, and so I think they're going to do well.
Oh, well, welcome to them and all the other businesses you mentioned. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Moving on, clerk's correspondence. Julie.
Council is in receipt of the Mentor Municipal Court month-end report for March of 2025, and that is all.
Okay. Commission committee reports. Council, you are in receipt of the meeting minutes from the Municipal Planning Commission, April 10th, 2025. Old business. Okay, moving on. New business. I think that our law director has a few pieces for us.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Members of council, have two items for your attention tonight, both via motion. The first pertains to our outside counsel. As you know, Attorney Jen Phillips has been representing the city as outside employment counsel, and including pending litigation for a number of years. She recently left the McDonald Hopkins law firm and became a partner at the France Ward law firm. The issue is that we don't have a fee agreement with Jen Phillips. We have a fee agreement with McDonald Hopkins, and we don't have a fee agreement with France Ward. So what I'm seeking is the approval to notify McDonald Hopkins that we'll be terminating our retainer agreement with them, asking them to then transfer the file over to Jen Phillips at France Ward. And the second component of that, obviously, is to enter into a retainer agreement with France Ward. And it's just to emphasize, it's just a procedural issue. McDonald Hopkins is a great law firm. We just required to do this in order to continue Ms. Phillips' services to the city of Mentor. So I ask for your approval via motion.
Council, I move to approve and authorize the law director to enter into a legal services agreement dated May 1st, 2025 with the Franz Ward Law Firm and to discharge the services of McDonald Hopkins Law Firm.
Second?
Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Thank you, Council. The second item is a little bit unusual. It comes up periodically. By way of background, as Council's aware, the city is actively engaged in economic development, incentives, and negotiations with property owners and developers. We have a very long, successful history of entering into such agreements, and that long, successful history also allows predictable outcomes relative to material elements of these agreements. Obviously, Mr. Filipiak and his team enter into negotiations with that knowledge base, are able to offer insight as to what they, the high level of probability and confidence believe will be acceptable terms and provisions, and come up with a tentative agreement, introduce that as legislation for council's ultimate approval. Every once in a while, though, someone may make a request which is new, and we simply don't have that sort of historic base to draw from to figure out whether or not it may be an acceptable element of an economic development request. We're in receipt of one such from Uptown Mentor LLC, and I've one-on-one discussed the nature of the proposal with members of council. Of course, the city manager's office is involved in that as well. Addressed any legal issues that you have, and based on that feedback, came up with what I believe would be the response to the proposal, which they have requested that they receive hopefully by the end of this week. Obviously, we cannot vote on that in private. The only time that you can possibly make that sort of an official determination is public, and so that's why, having provided you that draft, I'm seeking guidance tonight via motion. If the motion passes by an affirmative vote, that means you've authorized me to fill in the dates on that draft response, and I'll send it to legal counsel in the morning. Again, that becomes the city's official response to their request. A no vote means that you have not authorized me to issue the letter, and I guess we'll just have to pick up, from there with the nature of the request. So with that, I don't necessarily want to get specific into the request. Some of these negotiations are private, of course.
Motion.
But in terms of the motion, then, I'll hand this to Mr. Krieger.
Okay, I move to approve the law director's draft letter to Uptown Mentor LLC as the city's response to a proposal received for economic development assistance.
Second, Mr. President,
Yes.
but Mr. Zeman, this will not hinder future negotiations. We're still looking at possibly moving forward and do what we can do.
Correct. It's only a response to their latest proposal, and by no means should that preclude further negotiations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirschner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Joe, was that it?
That is it, sir.
All right. Any other new business, council? All right, hearing none, we will move on to the next section, which is persons before council. So when I call you up, I want you to realize that you have 4 minutes to speak. Please, no personal attacks. Don't use personal names and use this as a forum to attack anybody. When you come to the podium, please speak clearly into the microphone and state your name and address. First person up, Dawn Argy.
Good evening. Hello. My name is Dawn Argy. I live at 14 Meadowlawn Drive in Mentor. I currently serve as the president of Meadowlawn Condominium Association's Board of Directors. a position I have held for about 4 years now. I am here tonight to address the ongoing falsehoods and personal attacks being brought before this council by the former Meadowlawn maintenance manager. In recent meetings, he has used this podium to slander not only me, but our board and our entire community. Let me be clear, this individual was terminated by a majority vote of the board after being convicted, sentenced to 60 days in jail for harassing an 84-year-old woman. Dozens of similar complaints came from elderly and single female residents. Channel 19 News aired a 3-part investigative series on his conduct titled Reign of Terror. Since his removal nearly 3 years ago, he has continued a disturbing smear campaign through letters, social media, and repeated appearances here, targeting me as well as law enforcement, city officials, judges, and prosecutors. I've become the main focus of his attacks, which is no surprise. Over the years, he has sent hundreds of defamatory letters to Meadowlawn owners. Now he brings up my past from 17 years ago. Yet I have moved forward and built a productive, successful, and meaningful life, unlike him, who remains consumed by revenge and chaos. His obsession with me and our community is exactly that, revenge. Let's not forget why he was removed. He repeatedly violated our bylaws and targeted elderly residents and single women. He withheld heat from those he disliked, threw nails in the driveways of residents, tossed a bag of dog feces into a resident's home, blocked emergency calls in sub-zero temperatures, and even ran a teenage girl off the road. He cut down a memorial tree planted by a grieving mother. And in one of the most disturbing incidents, he exposed himself to an 84-year-old woman's door camera and spat on it. All of this documented and made public by Channel 19 News. Despite that record, he continues to appear before council with baseless accusations about finances, harassment, and theft. Ironically, those are the very issues that led to his termination, incarceration, and forced sale of his own home. When he left Meadowlawn in 2022, the association's account held under $50,000. Within a year, we rebuilt our reserves to over $250,000. Since then, we have completed more than $500,000 in critical property improvements and repairs. I was elected and re-elected with the strong support of our residents, not through endorsements, but because people saw real results. They wanted change, accountability, and safety, and that's exactly what we've delivered. Meadowlawn is an older property built in the 60s, and maintaining it is not always easy. The board isn't perfect, but we are committed, transparent, and doing the work. There is a reason a Lake County judge granted me a 3-year protection order in 2021 and extended it another 4 years in 2024. The same judge also issued a very rare protection order for our entire community. How often does a judge find it necessary to protect an entire neighborhood from one individual? That says everything. Meadowlawn is no longer a place of fear or dysfunction. It is a strong, safe, and thriving community, and we're proud of how far we've come. I thank you for the opportunity of letting me set the record straight. I wanted to do this evening because we love Meadowlawn, we love our community, and we feel this individual coming up here is really giving us a bad look. So I appreciate you letting me speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next is Helen Piro.
I didn't hear the last name. Oh, thank you.
Okay, name, address, 4 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you. Hi, good evening. My name is Helen Piro, and my husband, Jim Piro, served the Mentor Fire Department honorably for over, I'm sorry, I did not tell you my address.
Right.
Helen Piro, 9799 Campton Ridge Drive, Chardon, Ohio. My name is Helen Piro. My husband, James Piro, served the Mentor Fire Department honorably for over 30 years as a lieutenant, firefighter, and paramedic until his retirement in 2016. Just 6 weeks after Jim was diagnosed, on June 13, 2021, and at the age of 63, Jim passed away from a glioblastoma tumor. After 2 years of litigation and court hearings, it was determined that his death was directly caused by the exposure to the hazardous materials during his service with the fire department. So let me be clear about why I'm here. There is a memorial stone with Jim's name on it. It was completed back in October of 2023, paid for by Brunner's Funeral Home, and as far as I've been told, it's currently sitting unplaced either at the City Hall or at the fire department. The stone was created to honor Jim's name and sacrifice. My question is simple. When does the city intend to actually place it at the city's firefighters' police memorial where it belongs? I shouldn't have to be chasing this down. Over a year and a half ago, I reached out to the union. They claimed to have taken it to the former chief and City Hall, but nothing was done. Over 2 months ago, I contacted the fire department, who said they would look into it. Before your last council meeting, I reached out again to the council people here, the city manager and the council. They told me they would speak and they would follow up with me. Yet here I am still waiting with no response and no update from anyone. Let me be absolutely clear. The inaction and silence from the city are profoundly disrespectful. My husband dedicated his life in service to this community, sacrificing his health and ultimately his life. Yet in return, the very city he served has been silent. There was no sympathy card sent to me, no formal acknowledgement of Jim's passing. Firefighter badges weren't shielded, flags weren't lowered, no fire engine or squad was present at his funeral. Even the chief at the time of Jim's passing didn't bother to wear their uniform to the wake. Every traditional gesture of respect was absent. The city he gave decades to has chosen to do nothing to honor him. Meanwhile, Jim has already been memorialized at the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Maryland, which just happened this past weekend. He was inaugurated 2022. And the Fallen Firefighters Memorial, which is recognized out in Colorado Springs by the union. But the city where he actually served and made a difference, still silent. You're still inactive and still absent. I've said to the union, the fire department, and even council directly, I am more than willing to help plan the memorial event myself if that's what it takes. But the lack of action and, frankly, the lack of basic decency is unacceptable. This is not how you treat someone who gave his life in service to others. Our son Anthony graduated with his MBA without the presence of seeing his dad's pace, his pride. The last 3.5 years have been devastating. I lost Jim. I lost our dog 3 weeks after Jim passed. 6 months later, my mom died. I have battled heart failure, fought stage 4 cancer, and lost my sister, all without my husband by my side. I spent 2 years fighting for justice through the workman's compensation, and by the grace of God, I'm alive and healing. But I should not have to be fighting for basic recognition of my husband's sacrifice. Jim deserves this. Jim's family and friends deserve this. Anthony and I deserve this. The stone is all done. I've seen it. It's paid for. There's no excuse for further delay. And I'm just asking for a clear answer. When will the city place his memorial stone? I just want closure. This should have been handled long ago with care, urgency, and honor. That it wasn't, it's very shameful to me. But there's still time to make it right. Like I said, I just want closure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. President, I would move to adjourn to executive session pursuant to revised code section 121.22G2 to consider the purchase of property for public purposes and to consider the sale of property, both for the reason that any premature disclosure of information would give an unfair competitive and bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest.
Second?
Okay. Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes?
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling? Yes. Mr. Freeman?
Yes. All right.
Council, I would move that we go back in a regular session.
Second?
Julie? Julie, please call the roll.
Mr. Kirchner?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Marne?
Yes.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Mrs. Dowling?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Good night.